In this video, I'm going to talk about DHCP snooping. Why do we need to use DHCP snooping in the first place? We need to use it because to prevent an attack called man-in-the-middle attack. So let's take a look at this picture here. We have a DHCP client, we have a switch, and we have a DHCP server, and we have a rogue DHCP server. So how a man-in-the-middle attack happens? It actually happens when a user or an attacker connect a rogue DHCP server to a switch, and that attacker is running some DHCP spoofing program on his computer, or just a DHCP server on his computer. And of course, this DHCP client here, when it boots up, it's going to request for an IP address. And let's say this DHCP server responds first to the request. So it can that is called man-in-the-middle attack, because this host here might think that its gateway IP is the DHCP server or the attacker's computer. So the attacker can can see what this host is doing on the network, and also the attacker can send its IP address as the DNS server IP, and then the attacker can spoof the websites that this host is accessing. And also this host or DHCP server can also do something bad to the DHCP server. So what do we need to do to stop that issue? We can actually enable a feature called DHCP snooping on the switch, and that switch will have untrusted interfaces and trusted interfaces, and it will have a DHCP snooping binding to track the MAC to IP mapping of the hosts on the network. So let's see how we can configure it. It's very simple to configure. So basically, you just need to enable it globally, as you can see here. DHCP snooping, IP DHCP snooping. You do it on the switch globally. It's just take note that that is just enabling it, and here you can actually enable it on the VLANs. So in this case, I'm just using VLAN 1. So after you enter this command here, all the interfaces on the switch will become untrusted ports. So the switch will not really stop any DHCP packets coming to its ports. So of course you need to make sure or make the DHCP ports trusted. So in this case, you need to make this port trusted here. So you need to say IP DHCP Snooping Trust, because this is our DHCP server here. And you can also rate limit the DHCP packets that your switch will receive. So you can do that by typing in this command here, the IP DHCP Snooping limit rate 10. So I think this is packet per second. And you can verify your configuration by typing in show IP DHCP Snooping. You will see in the output that, for example, in this case, this will be the trusted port, and the rest are untrusted ports. And by the way, if the switch receives a DHCP packet here on this port will go into error disabled state, because the switch knows that this port is not supposed to receive DHCP packets. And of course, you can verify the MAC to IP binding, and you can do that by typing in this command, show IP DHCP Snooping binding. And you'll see that in the output, you'll see that the switch is tracking the MAC address and IP binding, and where that MAC address what is the associated port of that MAC address and IP address. So yeah, I think that's all I can talk about. DHCP Snooping.